land issues, and just coming back to Mamani, I think he is a pawn, and we've seen that happen constantly with black leaders in the DA. So once again, if I can evoke the words of the great leader Steve Biko, who said black people must stop being pawns in a white man's game. But there are so many black pawns, unfortunately, at the moment. I speak about Mamani as bulletproofed against blackness. That's how white he has become. But it's not only him. I see Cyril Ramaphosa, our current president, in the same light. I mean, he's supported by white people, and we have to ask, why is his support base coming from people who've never supported the ANC, but now suddenly they're supporting him?
Yeah.
It's of great concern.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting view, the fact that, he was trained by the Manels in that law firm as a candidate attorney, becoming in his early 30s the Secretary General of the ANC, having not been a member for so long. In fact, he wasn't a member leading to that conference where he was elected, then leading the NUM, then resigning from the SG's position and going into business, where he said he was now deployed to business. The question would be, who deployed him? In this book, and I want to be frank with this, your suggestion is that white people have sent the Cyril Ramaphosa to disturb the ANC. What evidence or what litters that? What informs that script?
Well, I don't say that categorically, but I say we have to question why he's not following the decisions of his very own people, the ANC branches, who are his immediate accountable people. Why is he ignoring all the very firm and very progressive resolutions?
Well, you pose it as a question. Your first question says, can Ramaphosa sing the tune of radical economic transformation?
Yes.
Your second question hinges on Marikana to say, when will justice ever come, and why Marikana had to happen?
Yes.
Those are questions that are dealing with the personhood of the president. My question is why? What has he done, or what informs that script? What about him sets you on this narrative?
Well, I think that he puts the interests of white people before that of black people, and this is evident in the fact that he treats white markets, foreign markets, who don't give a damn about black people in this country. Actually, they just care about profits. He puts them first and foremost. It's as if they've become the supreme branch of the ANC. And on the Marikana issue, he has yet to visit the widows of those men brutally killed. But yet we see him dancing at white matric birthday parties. We see him embracing white people. And he's totally out of touch with the life of an ordinary black person. His decisions that he's making are very pro-white monopoly capital. And so one has to question, what is his agenda and what is his mandate? But, I wrote that particular article a while ago at the very beginning of his presidency. And I said, I'll wait. Let me not cast judgment. He's not my choice. I wouldn't have voted him in if I had a choice at Nasrec. However, let me see what his deeds say. And I can say 2 or 3 years later, he has done very little for the ordinary black person in the street. What has he done? He's and that's how you measure a president. What does he do for the material conditions of the ordinary poorest citizen in this country? And he's done nothing. And in an interview I did on Saturday, they asked me, who's the worst president this country has ever seen? And I said, I think it's going to be Cyril Ramaphosa, for the very reason that he's putting whites first. So what he's doing, he's in the curtsy, to me, of white supremacy. I mean, why is land sitting still in white hands? Why is the NC not moving? And I think part of the distorted narrative we've had is that people have treated Cyril Ramaphosa as a messiah. But what has he ever achieved, actually? He wasn't an A-grade deputy president. I can't think of any achievements, really. And now he's sitting in a presidential role. Why would we expect him to do a better job? So in a way, he's a media creation. He's not a man of the people. And if you think of comparing him to what I believe is a true leader, we could look at Winnie Mandela, who was broken by the media, but she was a true leader because she was made by the people. And that's a very big distinction.
Certainly things are not going right in this country. In the press today is the president's fight with the public protector,
Yes.
the purging of black executives at SOEs, load shedding is back, adverse findings against the president and Pravin Gordhan. Pravin Gordhan confesses to the existence and the creation involving himself
Yes.
of the rogue unit and the Zim flight, to which is also being investigated. And so it is sort of disaster after disaster, bad press after bad press. But you come here speaking these things. Others, perhaps your counterparts, journalists out there, white journalists, are singing his praises. So who's in the wrong?
Well, yeah, I think that my version is truthful because I'm not beholden to anyone. In fact, my writings have cost me dearly. I think telling the truth is very expensive. I mean, my career has been totally jeopardized. I've lost favor with family and friends. So I'm telling a narrative that people don't want to hear, and I'm doing it at my own detriment.
Is something wrong with the fourth estate? Are we, the fourth estate, the challenge? We've recently heard of the Tumamina WhatsApp group, where the president and Pravin Gordhan sends orders to big editors in this country to carry a particular narrative, a cleanup of sorts for the president. Do you think there's something wrong with the fourth estate, and we have been, the celebratory order for him? We've been the grandmasters and the pianists to this great play that Cyril and Pravin are part of.
Absolutely. It's very sad because journalists should be the speakers of truth. And I was very fortunate in my career. I was mentored by the great and late, sadly, Dr. Agri Cluster of Sowetan, the father of nation building in the true sense, not in the fake rainbow nation, but in real nation building. And Sowetan journalism under his reign was about the people. It was about doing things for the public good. But what we're seeing today is journalists not trading in the truth, they're trading in propaganda. I think one of my articles speaks about them as the pastry chefs of propaganda. And they write things on the pen of bias for a particular agenda. So, but it's not only the media, it's civil rights organizations. We see people anti-Zuma going out and protesting, but those people are nowhere to be seen when there's black people dying, being shot, being murdered by police. There's no protests against poverty and inequality. So those people only come out when there's a particular reason. In fact, when did they come out? It was only to spew this anti-JZ venom. Otherwise, they're very quiet.
Yeah, certainly the media has become politicized, and there are signs to that effect. Ranjeni Munsame gets exposed at the Zondo Commission for taking money through the slush fund and a coexistence with crime intelligence. Sam Kokeli is a journalist, and you consider his writings somewhat concerning, and the next thing he's hired as Pravin Gordhan's spokesperson. Then he disagrees with the man, then he's fired, and he exposes that. And I can name them, Basson and Karima Brown, and there's something wrong in the fourth estate. How do we correct this?
I think the only way to correct this is to speak the truth and do so bravely. I think I write about telling the truth in this new dawn as a blood sport, because it's very dangerous. But we have to keep persisting. And I mean, certainly my voice, I'm pushing, but I doubt I'll get any interview on the mainstream media. You know, for about a few years ago, I wrote an article, which is in this book. I wrote it for African Times, Piet Rampetti's publication. Within days, it had got 400,000 responses. The article was, "Dear white South Africans, it's time to return the land." I offered that article to every single editor in South Africa. No one published it. So that is the extent that they're trying to censor certain voices.
So to the extent that the media goes out on a political hand and is doing the bidding for someone else, are we likely to see the publish of the atrocities or some of the crimes or errors of corruption in the government of Cyril Ramaphosa? If he's protected by state security, crime intelligence, he's trying to get rid of Chapter 9 institutions who seem untoward against him, and he has the protection of the media, who should be the truth sayers of our society, then we're headed down a downward spiral.
Absolutely, it's dangerous, and it's almost as if we are developing, knowingly or unknowingly, a fascist society, and we call it democracy. So coming back, I saw the story in the Star about the public protector being allegedly under arrest. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, investigated, but she's employed to sought to sign a warning statement at the Hillbrow police station on a perjury allegation. That has been opened by advocate Paul Hoffman, who leads an NGO in South Africa. But the call that came from the president's office was that why hasn't this woman been arrested? Because she must do so before the public protector's report on the ANC's Zim flight.
And that perhaps is testament to what I've been saying, the story that was carried in the Star this morning, was it?
Yeah.
Because here we have the public protector, who is by all tests of evidence an extremely competent public protector. She has issued so many cases. There have been very few that have been sent to appeal. That's the truth, actually, despite the statistics out there in mainstream media. She's done exceptionally well. She's had a clean audit, I think. So by all objective tests, we have a very competent and a very skilled public protector. But that is not the narrative carried in the mainstream media. And the greatest sin that she has committed is to touch the untouchables. And people have demonized her. And it is tragic, because we are at danger of losing one of our strongest leaders who have stood up without fear and favor for the rights of ordinary people in this country. The question that should be asked, and I've asked it 100 times, and I will keep asking it, is why are the records, CR17 records, sealed? That is a question we must ask. If we want to discuss the truth, why is the president so scared of that information getting out? In direct contrast to JZ, the previous president, who said, I give access to my records. There's nothing I need to hide. So despite the fact that President Jacob Zuma is presented as a villain, he is the one who's being forthright in saying, investigate me. Look at my records. I've got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Our current president is saying exactly the opposite. And
I
yet
want to put in the last question, just we've got 30 seconds, but
yes.
What do you make of Thabo Mbeki's recent redirection or recent awakening or reveal at the NEC meeting last week?
I think it's very sad and desperate. I mean, remember, he was outclassed by President Zuma, and it's his last shot to try and come into the public foray. But I mean, he's a small man, a small politician, a man who's never been in touch with the people.
Right. Have you ever been concerned about your safety, your people? You are a white South African living in South Africa. I do take it you've got white friends. You have a family, white family. Have you ever had conflict or security issues within your people, within coexistence in this republic?
Yes, I think I'm a black sheep in the white community, but it won't deter me. The truth must come out.
Okay. Congratulations on the book.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we find it? How do we find Kim Hela besides Twitter? Kim Hela Kune. You titled yourself with the surname of Itumeleng Kune.
Absolutely. Okay, that's another story for another day.
Goalkeeper for Chiefs. That's a story right there.
Yes.
Okay, so where do we find the book?
Well, the book will be hopefully in mainstream media bookshops in mid-January. It's available now at Exara Books, a Pan-Africanist bookshop in Midrand.
Okay.
Or through myself. Can I give my email?
You can give
address?
your email, and you can give us your Twitter handle.
Okay, my Twitter handle, and for very controversial views, is KimHela3, and my email is kimhela@writer. kimhela.writer@gmail.com.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations once again. Thank you for coming to chat with me. No white lies. Okay, that was writer, political commentator Kim Hela puts up quite a storm on the controversial Twitter streets. Quite a story to tell, a white South African woman saying white people should bring back the land. I asked her the question, is she not fearful of her own people? And she says she's always been the black sheep of the white community, but the truth must be told. Her book is called No White Lies, Black Politics and White Power in South Africa. It should be an interesting read, an interesting conversation indeed. It's been a contentious year. We've been discussing transformation, issues of land return, nationalization of the Reserve Bank. That's the politics that make up our diverse society in this, the Republic of South Africa. So wherever you're watching me from in the continent, I thank you for allowing me into your space in this time. 42 countries have watched the show this afternoon. So Mahlangu, yeah, talk back to me, share this conversation. Stay home, wash your hands, sanitize, and wear a mask. There's still a novel coronavirus out there. From me to you, thanks for watching. It's a good afternoon.